The cameras roll in, the room is quiet, but the tension is sharp enough to cut through the silence. For years, viewers have watched the Brown family fracture piece by piece, but what's about to happen now is unlike anything we've seen before. This time it isn't the wives at war with each other, or Christine going head-to-head with Kody. No, this time it's the children. And when children do finally say something, their words have a bearing that nobody can take lightly. Since the first episode of Sister Wives, viewers have watched the children mature before their eyes, once innocent faces that were swept up in the storm of plural marriage. Now adults bearing wounds of the family's struggles. Season 20 introduces a shocking twist. The children are no longer quiet witnesses. They're coming forward, taking sides and revealing the favoritism that has long been rumored. Imagine this, an emotional family gathering. The kind TLC loves to capture. The wives sit in one corner, their expressions guarded, while Kody tries to command the room with his usual confidence. Robyn, as always, sits closest to him, ready to defend. But across from them, Christine's, Janelle's, and even Meri's children gather together, a united front, a wall of emotion and truth. And then it happens. The first one to speak is one of the brave children. Voice shaking, eyes brimming with years of pent-up frustration, they utter words that everyone in the family already knows, but nobody was brave enough to say on TV. "Dad, you chose favorites, you chose Robyn's kids over us." The ensuing silence is deafening. Even the cameras freeze, remaining stationary, as if the whole world holds its breath waiting for Kody's reaction. But before he can even utter a word, another child emerges, followed by another. Each one of them spills years of hurt, disappointment, and sorrow. This isn't a dispute, it's an emotional ambush that rocks the Brown family to its foundation. What do you do when the children you raised are finally brave enough to hold up a mirror to your imperfections? Kody's face reddens, his voice trembles, and for the first time in ages, the patriarch appears small, shattered, vulnerable. But here's the catch, this battle is not merely about bias. It's about abandonment. It's about birthdays celebrated, calls not returned, and children who felt ignored, while their father invested all his time into creating a life with one wife only. The tears start to flow. Some kids yell with rage, others sob quietly, and the mothers just sit there, frozen in shock, unable to intervene. Because this time, it is not their battle, it is their children's, and the children are not giving in. The Brown children have remained quiet for years. But when the truth is finally unleashed, there's no turning back. The pressure builds with each sentence. We can sense the devastation seeping through the television as the children's histories unfold like festering wounds. One remembers the evening when they needed their father most, but he was absent. The other recalls being reminded to understand why Robyn's children always took precedence. And then the kicker? "You said we were family, Dad, but you did not mean it. Not all of us." The room bursts apart with that single sentence. Meri gasps softly, Christine dips her head, Janelle dabs away tears. And Robyn? She shakes her head, in denial, defending Kody. But no defense will stand now. Because this isn't a rumor. This isn't a drama. That's lived pain, voiced by the very children who lived it. There is nothing more powerful than a child's truth. And in this moment, Kody cannot escape it. The cameras capture every shot. Kody's quivering lip, the children's tear-stained cheeks, the wives' stunned misery. It's a television whirlwind of feelings. The type of reality television moment that viewers know will endure for decades. Kody attempts to shut down. His tone grows louder. His fists pound the table. His protest wobbly but verbose. "I've done everything I could for this family. I gave everything I had." But the children do not blink. They stand firm, united in their truth. "You gave everything to her," one of the daughters wails, gesturing toward Robyn. "Not us." The words echo in the room, more heavy than any of the wives have ever fought. For the first time, Kody is no longer battling his wives. He's battling for the love of his children, and he's losing. The audience at home sits in shocked silence. Twitter blows up. Hashtags trend. Fans argue. But within the Brown household, this is no longer about ratings. This is about survival. Can a family survive when the kids themselves are the ones yanking the truth into the open? Christine slumps forward, tears streaming down her face, speaking barely above a whisper. They're not lying, Kody. You need to listen. And that's when the unthinkable occurs. Kody crumbles. His voice shatters, his shoulders fall forward, and in front of the very children who shamed him, he breathes these words no one thought they'd hear. Maybe I failed you. Conclusion to Section 1. It's the moment fans never expected to see. Kody Washington, the man who so desperately held on to control over his family, finally crumbling from the pressure of his children's reality. The screen goes dark, leaving the audience gasping, hungry for the next show. Will this showdown mend old wounds, or be the last straw that destroys the Brown family forever? The room is silent, but it's the sort of silence that weighs on you, like a thunderstorm waiting to burst. Cameras close in on each face, capturing the tension perched in the air like a cloud of smoke. For years, Sister Wives has exposed the cracks within the Brown family, but this time, this reunion is different. This isn't a matter of arguing between the wives, or Kody's indefatigable defense of Robyn. No, this time the children, the very kids who lived most of their lives under the burden of plural marriage, are finally taking the stage. And they are not here to be quiet. Early on in the show, viewers saw these children play in backyards, attend school functions, and spend holidays under one big messy roof. They were the center of the family, innocent and caught up in the whirlwind of decisions they never had to make. But children become adults. And when they become adults in the midst of chaos, their truths finally come crashing to the surface. Now in season 20, those realities are going to tear the Brown family apart. The get-together starts like any other, nervous smiles, courteous small talk, and an unspoken line separating the family. Kody sits at the head of the table, attempting to radiate the power he once wore so effortlessly. Robyn hovers nearby, her hand on his arm, a look of concern and determination. In the background of the room, Christine, Janelle and Meri sit with wary faces, their posture tense, as if they're aware of what's to follow, but don't have the courage to utter it themselves. Today, though, the spotlight is not on the wives. It shines on the children. They sit side by side, shoulder to shoulder, an unfamiliar sight for this broken family. Some have their arms crossed, others fidget nervously in their laps, wringing their hands together, but there is power in their solidarity. They've made it clear. They've come prepared. The voice that shatters the silence is quivering, racked with emotion but speckled with courage. Dad, one of the older kids says, looking directly at Kody, we need to have words, and you need to listen. The room moves. The wives look at each other, shocked. Kody bristles, his jaw clenching. Robyn mutters something under her breath, but no one else says anything. And then the kid utters the words that slice through the air like a knife. You played favorites, Dad. You picked Robyn and her children over us. Gasps run through the room. The words hover there, unable to be ignored. Even the cameras appear to freeze, waiting for every hint of expression on Kody's face. His lips open as if to speak. But before he can, another child leans forward, voice shaking with rage. It's true, we felt it every day. We were always second best. Always. What does one do when the children you have raised become the ones to hold you accountable? The gates of flood burst open. The children one at a time speak up, voices overlapping with each other, some furious, others heartbroken. Years of unexpressed hurt spill out like a deluge. You skipped my birthday for 3 years. You said you did not have time, yet you were with Robyn's children every weekend. We needed you, Dad, but you weren't there. The tears now fall freely. Some of the kids struggle to get their words out. Other kids shout and scream, trembling with anger. The room erupts in a tumult of emotion, and amidst it all, Kody sits stony and silent, his dignity disintegrating with each confrontation. Christine's head drops, her eyes brimming with tears. Janelle squirms uncomfortably, pain etched on her face. Even Meri, whose emotions usually remain tucked away, wipes away a tear before it can fall. But they do nothing to intervene, because this war, it isn't theirs. It is the children's. For years the wives battled Kody. Now it is the kids' turn, and their knives cut deeper than anything that came before. Kody attempts to interrupt, his voice raised in desperation to reclaim control. That's not true. I've done everything I could for all of you. But the children don't relent. One rises, shaking their head vehemently. No, Dad, you did everything you could for them. A finger directed towards Robyn and her kids. Not for us. Never for us. Robyn gasps, immediately on the defensive. That's not fair. Kody loves all of you. He always has. But words only ignite the flames. Then where was he? Another kid barks. Where was he when we needed him? When Mom was crying? When we were fighting? He was with you. The accusations ricocheted off the walls, with no excuse possible. The kid's hurt cannot be denied. And for the first time, even Kody can't reason himself out. The tension runs deeper. One daughter remembers a late evening when she sat waiting by the phone for her dad to call back. But he did not. Another son recalls requesting Kody to attend his school function, only to hear that he didn't have the time. But they all witnessed the photos, the excursions, the time spent with Robyn's children. Me and my dad, you said we were one family. One child weeps. But you lied to us. We weren't all family. Some of us were throwaways. The words cut Kody like a wound. His face burns red. His hands knot into fists. His voice rages out in anger and desperation. I did everything for this family. Everything, he yells. But the children hold their ground. No, one whispers. Voice cracking, you did everything for her. The room becomes quiet. Christine closes her eyes. Janelle covers her mouth with her hand. And Meri shakes her head, whispering softly, "Oh, Kody, the power has shifted." For the first time, Kody isn't battling his wives. He's battling for the love of his children. And he's losing. The cameras see it all. Each tear, each screaming voice, each crushing reality. Viewers at home experience the heartache thrum through the television. Fans respond on social media in shock and dismay. But within the room, it's no longer about the audience. It's about a father who has lost the children's trust. Christine finally speaks, her tone soft but resolute. They're not lying, Kody. You need to listen. Kody's shoulders slump, his bravado lost. For once he is small, vulnerable, trapped by the same people whom he professed to lead. His voice breaks as he speaks in a whisper. Maybe I failed you. The kids stiffen. The wives gape in horror. Even Robyn is shaken. In that moment, the patriarch figure of strength shatters. And all that remains is a shattered man staring at the truth he did not want to confront. Closing of Section 1. It's the moment that no fan ever thought they would see. Kody Brown, the patriarch who insisted on loyalty, finally cracking under the stress of his children's reality. The camera lingers on his face, his eyes glassy, jaw shaking. For the first time in years, Kody has no answer, no defense, no plan. He has only silence, and the chilling awareness that the love of his children is slipping away forever. The screen goes black, leaving audiences gasping, wanting to know what happens next. Will this showdown be the key that mends old hurts? Or will it prove to be the last straw that ruins the Brown family for good? The stunned silence following Kody's whispered confession, "Maybe I failed you," lingers in the air like a suffocating cloud. Nobody can breathe through. The children look at him, some with tears streaming down their faces, others with white-knuckled jaws, their anguish fresh and unvarnished. The wives look at each other, each one weighing in her mind whether to intervene or let this play out on its own. But before anyone can react, the silence bursts open once more. "Maybe isn't sufficient, Dad," one of the older brothers speaks firmly, his voice low but authoritative. "You did fail us. Stop pretending that it's some potential." The words sting like a blow. Kody has his head jerk up, eyes flashing. His typical defense tactic, anger resurfaces. "I did the best I could," he yells, his voice ringing out in the room. "You have no idea what I sacrificed for this family. None of you do." But the children don't blink. They've lived through this reality. They know the truth. "You call it sacrifice," one daughter retorts. "But what did we witness? We witnessed you laughing with Robyn's children. We witnessed you attending their school performances, their birthday parties, their milestones, and for us, excuses. Always excuses." Another child's voice cracks with tears. "You weren't there when Mom most needed you. You weren't there when we most needed you." That ain't sacrifice. That's abandonment. When a father's lies clash with his kid's hurt, the outcome isn't only fury, it's destruction. Robyn can't contain herself, leaning forward, her tone harsh but trembling. This isn't fair. You're distorting facts. Kody loves all of you. He tried to be there for everybody. But the kids attack her as well, their voices heavy with years of anger. Stop defending him, Robyn. You have no idea what it was like. You have no idea what it was like to wait for your dad and never see him come. You had him all the time. We didn't. Robyn's eyes fill with tears. But the children do not soften. For them, this isn't about hurting her. It's about finally being heard. For the first time, the kids aren't just fighting with Kody, they're fighting with Robyn, the embodiment of all they lost. Kody bangs his fists on the table, his face flushed with rage. I will not sit here and let you vilify your stepmother. She has done nothing but love all of you. The room erupts in voices. Some of the kids yell over him. Others sob louder. The wives squirm uncomfortably, caught between allowing the kids to vent years of repressed agony and needing to diffuse before the family explodes on television. Christine finally breaks in, her tone steady but adamant. Kody, stop. This has nothing to do with Robyn. This is about you. This is about your children, finally expressing things they've kept inside for years. Janelle nods in affirmation, her voice cracking. You might not like the way it sounds, but you have to hear it. You lost them, Kody. You have to know why. Kody's chest heaves and falls, his breathing ragged. He appears to be on the verge of leaving. He casts a glance toward the door, his hand making a spasmodic jerk as if to put on his coat. But then a tiny quivering voice brings him up short. Dad, if you walk out now, you'll lose us forever. The room falls silent. A younger daughter, tears streaming down her face, looks at him with eyes filled with love and sorrow. The words cut deeper than any yell fest. Kody slumps back in his chair, his toughness wearing thin, his eyes brimming. I don't want to lose you, he whispers. But the children don't let him off so lightly. Then prove it, the same daughter tells him. Start showing up. Start listening. Start being a father to all of us, not just some of us. In one devastating instant, the children issue Kody an ultimatum, change or lose them forever. The wives are seated in stunned silence, their hearts conflicted. Christine wipes her tears, saying under her breath, this is what I always feared. Janelle leans in, nodding to the children, silently affirming their bravery. Even Meri, detached as she usually is in these situations, whispers softly, they're right, Kody, you can't deny it anymore. But Kody, backed into a corner, and Raw strikes out once more. His voice is boisterous but cracked with emotion. You think it was easy, juggling 4 wives, 18 children, all of you tugging on me in a million directions? You think I wanted to disappoint anyone? A son retorts immediately. You didn't disappoint because you were spread thin. You disappointed because you chose whom to love. You chose whom most. The words sting like acid. Kody leans back, shaking his head, muttering, that's not true. That's not true. But deep down, everyone in the room knows the kids are right. Excuses can't erase the truth. The Brown children finally force their father to face the consequences of his choices. Robyn reaches out, clutching Kody's hand. You don't have to take this. You've done so much. They just don't see it, but that just makes it worse. They don't see it because it wasn't there. Snaps one daughter. Stop rewriting history. Robyn, we lived it. We know the truth. Robyn's tears overflow, her voice cracking. I never wanted this division. I believed we were one family. One of the children lets out a bitter laugh. We were never one family. Not really. You became the favorite, and we were leftovers. The wives flinch, the reality slicing through them as it slices through Robyn. The fight comes to a head. Voices are raised, there are tears, and each sentence is another gash opening. But through the mayhem, a turning point starts to emerge. One of the older kids rises, their tone softer but firm. We're not here to destroy you, Dad. We're here because we still care. If we didn't, we wouldn't even bother. But this is our last chance. If you don't change, if you don't fix this, then we can't keep pretending anymore. The words fall like a last warning, heavy and irrevocable. Kody's face disintegrates. He buries his hands in his face, his shoulders convulse, and for the very first time on camera, the man who once referred to himself as the patriarch of this family breaks down crying. His sobs are raw, desperate, heartbreaking. #5. The patriarch cracks. For the very first time, Kody's tears fall not out of rage, but out of fear. Fear of losing the children's love forever. The children fall silent, observing him, their faces a blend of anger, hurt, and tentative hope. The wives are seated stock still, shocked by the face of a man they hardly know anymore. At last Kody raises his head, speaking almost in a whisper. "Tell me what I need to do. Tell me how to make it right." It's a moment that fans never saw coming. The man who used to demand to be obeyed, who wielded his power like a shield, is now pleading for direction from the very children he drove away. And as the screen goes black, fans are left on the edge of their seats. Will Kody do it, and fight to rebuild the relationships he destroyed? Or is it already too late, with hurts too deep to ever mend? The air is heavy, full of all that's just been uttered. The screaming tempest of insults, tears, and broken defenses has finally ceased, but the resultant silence is even more deafening than the shouting. The children rest in their semicircle, spent from emptying decades of stored anguish. Kody hunches forward, his face white, his eyes puffy and red from weeping. Robyn massages his shoulder, speaking softly, but he doesn't answer. He appears empty, as if the words of his own offspring had sucked the last bit of fight from him. The wives remain silent, each caught in their own whirlwind of feelings. Christine's face is a combination of vindication and sadness. She's been repeating all of this for years, but to hear it from the kids is like seeing old wounds ripped open once more. Janelle appears shaken to the core, her lips compressed tight, as if she's afraid to let out a tidal wave of words. Meri stiffly sits, her face impassive, but her eyes shine with unshed tears. No one stirs, no one takes a breath. Then at last, one of the children, voice shaking but unshakable, speaks up. "We didn't say all this to hurt you, Dad. We said it because we can't keep living in this silence. Pretending was killing us." The words linger on the air, gentle but irrevocable. Sometimes the hardest truths aren't said because we're angry. They're said because we love, and that makes them impossible to ignore. Kody swipes at his face with trembling hands. His voice trembles as he whispers, "I don't know if I can make this right. I don't even know where to begin." Christine leans forward, her voice steady but compassionate. "Start by listening, Kody. That's all they've ever wanted, to be heard, to matter." Janelle nods. "You've always tried to lead this family with authority, but maybe what they needed wasn't a leader. Maybe what they needed was just their dad." The words slice right through him. He dips his head, gazing at the floor, as his children eye him with a combination of pain and guarded hope. The camera pans in on one of the older sons, his voice steady but teary. "You can't delete the past, Dad. None of us anticipate that. But what you do now, from this moment forward, that's what's gonna determine whether you lose us for good or not." Kody glances up, his face shaking. "And if I've already lost you?" The answer returns swiftly, quick but gentle. "Then fight for us. Prove you haven't." The Brown children offer Kody a choice to give up on the errors of the past, or to fight for a future with his kids. The wives glance at each other. For years it's been their words against Kody's obstinacy, but now with the kids standing together, the power has tipped. Even Robyn, generally Kody's strongest supporter, appears shaken. Her hand drops from his shoulder, as she looks at the kids, her tears shining. "I never wanted you to feel excluded," she whispers. I thought we were a family." A daughter regards her, the tone gentle but firm. "Perhaps you thought so, but that was not our reality, Robyn. We were not in the same world as you." Slowly Robyn nods, the lip trembling. For the first time she does not protest. The tension relaxes just a little, like a crevice of light in thick clouds. The children look at each other exhausted, some scrubbing away at tears, others gripping hands tightly. The encounter has left them drained, but also there is a feeling of release. After so many years of silence, their voices have at last been spoken. Christine releases a trembling breath. "You were courageous," she says quietly, addressing the children. "All of you. What you told me, it had to be said." Janelle nods. "I've known this for a long time, but to have you say it, it's powerful. It's irrefutable." Even Meri, normally not one to pipe up in times like these, has something to say. I know what it is to be invisible here, to feel like you don't count. And I hate that you kids felt that same way. It's not fair. You were so much better than that. The children's eyes well up with tears once more, but this time it is not sadness. It's confirmation. At last their hurt has been acknowledged. Validation doesn't undo what's been done, but it starts the healing process. And for the Brown kids, it's the first shred of hope in decades. At last Kody raises his head, his voice a mere whisper. I don't know how to make up for what I've done, but if you'll allow me, I want to try. One of the younger sons shakes his head, his voice gentle but cutting. You can't just say that, Dad. You have to demonstrate it, again and again. We've had promises before. What we need now is action. The camera records the look on Kody's face, defeated, chastened, but still hanging on to the smallest shred of hope. The wives remain quiet for a moment, letting the kids hold the floor, but eventually Christine speaks up again. Her tone steady but emotional. This is what accountability looks like, Kody. It's not comfortable, it's not easy, but it's the only way forward. Janelle nods resolutely. If you mean it, if you truly want to make this right, you need to begin showing up in ways you never have before. Not for us, for them. Meri lets out a soft sigh, her voice filled with years of her own hurt. You can't just want the title of father, Kody. You have to live it, every single day. The wives who were once split, now stand united in support of the children. And for the first time, Kody is really outnumbered, not by his wives, but by the truth from his own family. The children start to talk again, but this time there is less anger and more yearning to their words. One of the daughters states that she wishes her dad would call her at least regularly. A son states that he wishes Kody would attend one of his games, just once. No excuses. Another states that she wishes he would remember her birthday this year, even if it is something small. The demands are straightforward, almost sad in their simplicity. They don't ask for much. They just want to know that they count. Kody gulps, tears streaming down his face once more. I can do that. I promise I'll do that. But one of the older kids interrupts, voice firm. Don't promise, Dad. Just do it. The line is a punch. A punch to both Kody and to audiences. There is an emotional heavy air in the room. The wives sit quietly, all of them rubbing away their tears, while the children hug each other, exhausted but united. Kody sits alone, even as Robyn sits next to him, with the realization that his dominance is futile if he is not loved by his children. The camera holds on his face, seeing every flutter of feeling, fear, regret, longing, and the tiniest glimmer of determination. Closing of Section 3. The aftermath of the confrontation does not bring closure. It brings a challenge. The Brown children have spoken their truth, and now the question is, can Kody step up to meet it, or has too much been lost? The scene ends with a chilling image, the children departing together, in their misery but strengthened by their truth, and Kody alone in his chair, head in hands. The screen goes black, leaving viewers with a haunting question. Is this healing for the Brown family, or the start of the end? The emptiness of the house after the kids went to bed that evening was deafening. Kody sat by himself, hands cradled against his face, the sound of their words ringing in his head. Don't promise, Dad, just do it. That one sentence repeated over and over again, slicing deeper than any fight he had ever shared with the wives. This wasn't about power anymore. This was concerning his legacy as a father, and whether or not there was anything left to salvage. The cameras go with him outside the following morning, as he prowls the backyard. His voice is low, creaky but resolved. I've made mistakes, big ones, and if I keep lying about everything being okay, I'll lose them forever. I can't let that happen. Not now. For the first time in years, Kody owns up to the unthinkable. His kids no longer believe what he says. The only course of action is action. Later that day, the wives sit down again for another heart-to-heart. Christine folds her arms, guarded. Janelle gazes at him warily, optimistic but doubtful. Meri is silent, her face inscrutable, and Robyn, always the loyal one by his side, is desperate for him to get it right. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. Kody begins, his voice steadier than before. I've done enough of that. The kids want proof. They want me to show up, and I'm going to. Christine raises an eyebrow. You've said things like that before. What makes this different? Kody stares back at her. Because this time I don't have a choice. If I don't change now, I lose them. And I can't live with that. The wives look at each other. For once there is no argument, no yelling, only a dense silence as they weigh if they are brave enough to believe him. The scene cuts back to Kody driving alone. His vehicle is still except for his own voice. As he addresses the cameras. They're correct. I was present for Robyn's children in ways that I wasn't for the others. I don't even know why I allowed it to occur. Perhaps I believed I was grasping some aspect of family cohesion. But in doing so, I abandoned the rest. That's my fault. The candor is astonishing, even to viewers. It's the type of confession that has been long awaited by fans. But whether it's too late, is the question. Redemption starts with words. But the Brown children made one thing clear. Words are insufficient. Days go by and Kody begins small. He calls one of his daughters, the very same one who said to him, "Don't promise, just do it." The phone rings, his voice trembling as he leaves a message. "Hey sweetheart, it's Dad. I was thinking about you today. I'd love to see you this week. No pressure. I just want to spend some time with you." The camera stays on his face after he hangs up, with his nerves printed all over it. It's a straightforward phone call. But for Kody, it's a mountain ascended. Subsequently, he appears suddenly at one of his son's games. He stands silently in the bleachers, not certain if he'll even be greeted. The son sees him, surprise flashing across his face. The cameras catch the moment, a stilted half smile, a tentative wave. But it's something. It's a start. At the wives' houses, reactions ripple through the family. Janelle smiles softly when she hears Kody went to the game. That's what the kids need. Not speeches. Not defenses. Just presence. Christine is more guarded. I've seen him try to make amends before. But it doesn't last. If he really wants to fix things, it has to be consistent. Otherwise, the kids will just end up hurt again. Meri sighs, her voice weighted. It's not a matter of appearing once or twice. It's about repairing years of harm. That can't be done overnight. Even Robyn concedes, her voice shaking. I want to think this is real. But I have to believe the kids are right. He wasn't there for them. And I contributed to that. Every move Kody makes is scrutinized. Not only by the children, but also by the wives and followers who question whether it's too little, too late. A week later, Kody invites some of his older kids to supper. Cameras catch the tension as they enter, not knowing what to anticipate. He envelops them with warm hugs, tears in his eyes. Some hug him stiffly, others more so, but there is no denying the tension. As they sit, Kody talks slowly. I know I can't wipe the slate clean. I know I can't get you to forget about the times I wasn't there. But I want to begin today. I want to create something new, if you'll let me. One son looks at him doubtfully. We've heard that before, Dad. Kody nods. I know, and you don't owe me trust. I have to earn it. But I'm here. And I'm not walking away this time. The dinner is tense. But it isn't a disaster. Laughter slips out in tiny bursts. Stories are told. Tears fall. For the first time in years, the table is like a family again. If only for a few moments. It is not perfect. It is not smooth. But for the first time in years, there is a glimmer of hope that the Browns can heal. Later, one of the daughters addresses the cameras in private. I don't know if I trust him yet. But tonight was different. He actually listened. He didn't interrupt. He didn't excuse. That's new. Another child adds. He has a long way to go. But if he keeps doing this, maybe there's still a chance. The wives watch from a distance, as the kids slowly warm to him. Christine admits, I didn't think I'd ever see this. But if the kids can start healing, maybe it's worth giving him that chance. Janelle nods. It's not about me anymore. It's about them. If they get the dad they deserve, then it's worth it. Even Meri, who's been burned by Kody more than anyone, says softly, I never thought he could change. But if the kids can forgive him, maybe I can too. But redemption doesn't work that way. Days afterward, one of the children cancels a visit, texting, I'm not ready, Dad. The hurt is biting. Kody paces in front of the camera, angry, his old rage simmering on the surface. This is what I'm afraid of, he says. That no matter what I do, it won't be enough. That they'll never forgive me. But instead of exploding, he takes a deep breath. He texts back simply, "I understand. I'll be here when you're ready." It's a small moment, but for viewers, it's monumental. The old Kody would have fought, argued, blamed. This time he listens. Closing of Section 4. Redemption isn't about winning back love overnight. It's about patience, persistence, and humility. And for the first time, Kody seems willing to try. The episode ends with a compelling montage. Kody at another kid's party, applauding happily from the sidelines. A subdued phone call in which he says to one of the daughters, "I love you no matter what." A family portrait, stiff but sincere. As the children permit him back into their fold, if only guardedly. As the screen goes black, the narrator's voice poses the question lingering in the mind of every viewer. Has Kody really changed? Or is that another flash in the pan try? And will his children allow him the opportunity to show that redemption is within reach? The Browns come to a fork in the road. Weeks of tears, blowouts, strained dinners, and tentative makeups have passed. And the children have decided they need one last sit-down. A time to set everything out on the table once and for all. The wives concur. Even Kody, who looks visibly on edge, agrees. Cameras follow each move as the Browns get ready for what will likely be their most pivotal conversation ever. The scene is basic. A large wooden table in Christine's living room. Seated around it are the adult children, arms folded, faces pulled tight with feeling. Across from them are the wives, Christine, Janelle, Meri and Robyn, watching intently. At the head of the table, Kody squirms, his jaw set, his eyes switching back and forth among his children. The silence is oppressive. Then a daughter makes a comment, her voice shaking but resolute. "Dad, we're here because we need closure. Either we find a way to move forward, or we accept that this family will never be the same again." The ultimate showdown has begun. Will Kody win back his family, or lose them for good? The air thickens as another child leans forward. "We've explained to you how it was to grow up. Watching you privilege one side of the family, watching you vanish when we needed you. We've explained to you what we need: consistency, honesty, and effort. Tonight we want to hear if you're really ready to offer that. Not just claim it, live it." Kody swallows hard. His typical defensive tone is replaced with something softer, more vulnerable. "I know I've disappointed you. I can't deny it anymore. I've allowed my pride, my obstinacy, and yes, my love for one relationship to cloud my judgment and make me blind to the needs of all of you. But I don't want to lose you. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right." Christine shakes her head. "Words, Kody. We've heard them before. The kids need actions, not promises." Tension escalates. One son bangs his hand on the table. "Then prove it. Dad, stop hiding behind excuses. Stop blaming the wives. Stop saying you were stretched too thin. You chose where to put your energy. And it wasn't with us. We don't care about speeches. We care about the father we never had." The rawness of his voice sends shudders through even the camera crew. Kody's eyes brim over with tears, his face flushing, his breathing labored. For an instant, it seems he is going to strike out. But instead, he lapses into silence, his hand shaking. For the first time, Kody does not struggle back. He breaks down. The wives look on. Robyn puts a hand on Kody's arm, speaking softly. "It's okay, just listen." Christine amazingly agrees. One of the daughters steps forward, her voice softer. "We don't hate you, Dad. We just wanted you to show up for us. Do you have any idea how it felt to watch you cheer for Robyn's kids and not us? To feel like we were strangers in your family?" Kody covers his face, tears falling through his fingers. His voice breaks. "I thought I was doing what was best, but I see now that I was wrong. I don't know how to fix this, but I want to try. Please don't give up on me." The father who had once dominated his family with iron certainty is now pleading for mercy from his own children. The room is still, save for sniffles. One child leans in, putting a hand on Kody's arm. It's not firm, but it's something. "We don't ask for perfection. We ask for effort. We ask for presence. Can you do that? Can you show up, even when it's uncomfortable?" Kody nods wildly, his tears unashamed. "Yes, I will. I promise." But the kids exchange wary looks. One speaks in a firm tone. "Then demonstrate it with time. Because if you don't, this is the last time we sit at this table as a family." The ultimatum drops like a sledgehammer. Even Robyn gasps. The Browns give Kody one last opportunity: make amends or lose his family for good. Throughout the next several hours, the family discusses, occasionally in anger, occasionally in laughter, frequently in tears. Memories are recounted, apologies made, truths told. At some point, Janelle dabs at her eyes and whispers, "This is what I always dreamed of. Us actually sitting together and talking." Even Christine, the wife who defected from Kody and pledged she was through, acknowledges if this is the beginning of something new for the kids, then perhaps it was worth all the hurt. But not everybody is so sure. Meri leans back, arms crossed, her eyes narrowed. "I want to believe you, Kody. I really do. But we've been here before. You tell me all the right things, then revert to old habits. If this is sincere, you'll have to demonstrate it every day. Otherwise, it's finished." The children assent. The turning point comes when the youngest child in the room, a daughter who has hitherto been quiet, finally speaks up. Her voice is soft but sharp. "Dad, I just wanted to know if you love us all the same, because it never felt like it." The room is still. Everyone looks at Kody, waiting. Tears run down his face as he spins to face her. "I love you. I love all of you. I didn't demonstrate it, and I will spend the remainder of my life showing you that it's true if you give me the chance." The daughter cries and hesitantly makes her way around the table to hug him. Kody clutches her close, crying uncontrollably. Other children come one by one, some hugging stiffly, others falling into his arms. The wives stand and weep, tears running down their faces. The Brown family looks like a family again, for the first time in years. Final emotional beat. It isn't a fairy tale, it isn't a happy ending, but it is a beginning. And sometimes beginnings are enough. The cameras fade from the picture of Kody with his children, vulnerable but together, his redemption not yet achieved, but inevitably begun. The narrator's voice brings the show to a close, with haunting finality. The Browns reunited, not to forget the past, but to confront it. Whether this tentative peace will endure is anyone's guess, but for one night, at least, they were no longer separated by walls of hurt and anger. For one night, they were a family once more. The screen goes black. On the screen is to be continued, and viewers everywhere are left with the question that will rule next season. Is this the real redemption of Kody Brown, or just another installment in the never-ending saga of sorrow?